So let's talk about rushing. If you're like me, my natural default is to plan backwards from the time I need to leave or be somewhere, minute by minute, and start getting ready or start getting up at that time, leaving myself no room for error, and chaos ensues. I'm also that default personality that I do one more thing. Just like, oh, just do this one thing. I got time. I'll just do this real quick. So that's my default personality since I was very young. And I have found that the more I learned about how our brains work and our nervous system, I have come to understand that rushing is one of the big sort of culprits for stealing my peace. And so when I determined a few years ago to eliminate rushing, to stop rushing in my life, it has made a phenomenal change. So what happens when we're rushing? The fight or flight, so sympathetic nervous system portion, that goes into alarm bell state. The same as if we're being chased by a bear or if we were in some kind of emergency. And so we're hardwired to do that. Our heart rate goes up. So we produce stress hormones, which are really meant to help us survive in an emergency. So heart rate goes up. We pump a lot of our circulation to our skeletal muscles, so like arms, legs, so you can run fast, lift things, that kind of stuff. The other interesting thing that happens is that when we're in fight or flight, we tend to use the instinctual part of our brain and less of our higher learning centers. Because when you're in an emergency, typically, if you're running from a bear, you don't need to digest the banana that you just ate. And you don't really need to do high level, complex logic learning. We're really just like running on instinct. And it takes a lot of training to be able to keep your logic brain on in an emergency. So typically, if we are in fight or flight, as in when we are rushing, we're also exhibiting fear, worry, sometimes self-condemnation, be like, oh, why can't I get my stuff together? I'm just like always running late. And whoever it is I'm going to meet, I'm just sorry I'm late. I'm trying to text to be like, I'm on my way. And so it's that like, kind of thing. So we end up being in fight or flight. So if we're always rushing, so getting up in the morning, going to work, rushing out to run errands at lunch, rushing to the store afterwards, rushing this, rushing that. So that keeps us in a state of fight or flight much more often throughout the day than if we were not rushing. So doing a bit of strategy for ourselves to stop ourselves from rushing, it takes a little bit of practice because that's not maybe our default. So we can do things like get up just 20 minutes earlier, start getting ready for to leave the house 15 minutes ahead of time. And if you find you have resistance to that, where you're like, oh, why am I getting ready now? I'm going to be ready early. It's just an interesting mental phenomenon. It's interesting to like listen to what comes up in your head if you start doing that. It's some kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's efficient or something. And anyway, so that's my thoughts on rushing, is that if I can reduce my rushing, then I'm going to spend more of my minutes, more of my time in each day in a peaceful sort of nervous system state. So I'm going to be in my parasympathetic nervous system state, which is more rest, digest, recovery. It's a better sort of state of being to maintain digestion and blood pressure and heart rate and mental capacity and things like that. It's much less fatiguing to stay in more of a parasympathetic nervous system state. So try the no rushing, consider it, play with it a little bit, even just making small little changes just to try to reduce the amount of rushing. And eventually you might decide that you're going to eliminate it altogether. So now if I don't keep myself organized and I end up rushing somewhere, it's like, oh yeah, I can really see how this is just not a good time. So that's also motivation for me to make sure that I plan my day, organize myself so that I'm not rushing. And I just basically just eliminated that sort of trigger of like, oh, fight or flight, oh, fight or flight. The less I have to come down off of fight or flight, the better that I am. The better I can regulate my immune system, my nervous system, hormones, and all that kind of stuff. So consider it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and share.